Hello, I'm Junha and I'll be your host for this episode. Today we have with us Yi Zhen and Vaishnavi, two up-and-coming student leaders from SMU Product Club, one of the first product management related student-led clubs in Singapore.
Turning into Lorong product.
Thank you guys so much for coming today. For starters, can I get you guys to introduce yourselves as well as your roles in SMU Product Club? Vaishnavi, maybe we can start with you.
Yeah, sure. So hello, I'm Vaishnavi. I'm a year 2 student at SCIS. I study computing and law, and I'm the SMU Product Club's event director.
Alright, and my name is Yi Zhen. I'm a year 2 business management student specializing in data design and communications. I'm also the president of SMU Product Club as of now. Yeah.
Coming from NUS, I've always wondered how student life is like in other universities. Can you guys share a bit more about student life in SMU and maybe just one or two favorite moments from like your time there? Maybe you can start with Yi Zhen.
I think SMU life is generally quite hectic, I would say. I think many people would call it competitive, but I would say not necessarily. My year 1 times, I had some pretty good wholesome memories during my year 1. Year 2, not so, maybe because right now I'm doing I'm in product club and my studies.
So it's less wholesome, is it?
Not say less wholesome. I've had a lot of, I would say most of my favorite moments in SMU are mostly has to do with like product club. Yeah, I think a lot of I would say that our team is very bonded. So I think that's what makes it very memorable for me. Yeah.
That's very nice. How many people are there in your SMU Product Club?
So we are made up of 11 team members, including
11.
myself.
Okay.
Compared to NUS, we are pretty small, but I guess we kind of just work like that.
Yeah. Okay, maybe Vaish?
For me, I think quite similar to Yi Zhen. It has been quite busy. Mostly just spend a lot of time studying in school and out of school or going for interns or competitions. For me, I think I've had a lot of business case competitions, hackathons and stuff like that. But my favorite moment in class would be my first law class, with Prof. Ian Chai. Yeah, he's a very amazing lawyer and he made my start of the SMU journey be extremely awesome. Yeah, and I think my favorite memories outside of class have always been with Product Club and my other CCA, which is focusing on AI.
You mentioned that you studied law, right? So is your program 5 years or is it still 4 years?
Oh, I studied a hybrid degree. It's one of a kind, only SMU has it. It's a single degree. It's called Computing and Law. It's a Bachelor of Science. Yeah. I'm not doing free publicity for SMU. It's just every single time I start an internship, they'll be like, oh, so you study both? Is it a double degree? Is this a joint track to doing a master's or something? I don't know. It's just something that they've cooked up,
If you don't make the tech money, you still make the law money, right? And vice versa.
That was the idea, yeah.
Okay. NUS Product Club has been working closely with SMU Product Club since its launch last semester. Right, maybe for Yi Zhen, can you share a bit more about how it all began?
Okay, so I think this goes back to last year, or rather last semester. Back then, I was actually the marketing director of SMU Product Club, and we were actually doing our product management experience program. I think for NUS it's PM1101E, that's the equivalent program. So for that program, both schools were being taught by the same instructor. So the instructor actually invited us to this house party to meet other fellow PMs and the other student clubs, which is NUS Product Club as well. So that's how I actually got to know about NUS Product Club and started to interact with the members there. Then I think after PME, we were all wondering what's gonna happen next after PME, right? After you teach the students, after you give them product knowledge and teach them about the concepts and frameworks, give them experience, what's next for them? So I think this came, the opportunity came where we decided to actually do a PM career series, which we actually did part 1 and part 2 for that. So I think for that event, that PM career series itself, it was quite a success, I would say, because that was really the starting point of how both clubs actually came together and started working very closely. Yeah.
It's great to hear that the initial collaboration was such a huge success. Right? Were there any other plans to like follow up to collaborate with NUS Product Club for future events?
Yeah, so actually right after the PM Career Series Part 1 and Part 2, NUS Product Club's president Harry actually reached out to me and asked whether we could do a combined PME, like a few like combined PME sessions. I think it was mostly because okay, no, I shouldn't say that. I would say that it was a good opportunity for us to interact with each other more. So basically, out of the 5 lessons that we've had for PME, 2 of them were actually combined. So NUS students would come to SMU to actually sit in for the PME lesson held by the PME instructors. So I thought that was pretty great. It's good to see like NUS students coming over to SMU and actually taking the effort to come all the way to SMU because I know it's very far, right? And that's not the only collaboration that we'll be doing. We also have the upcoming product networking night that's going to happen in 22nd March. So for that event, we're definitely going to expect way more participants. We're actually expecting about 150 participants this time around. And this is quite a huge jump from the previous PM Career Series where we had at first like 50 participants to like 100 participants and now 150. So we're pretty excited about this networking night, and so far everything is going pretty smoothly. So yeah, quite excited for the actual event.
Can you share a bit more about like the networking night? How many speakers do we have?
So we will be inviting 4 fireside chat speakers, but outside of these speakers, we'll also be having about more than 12 speakers, 12 guests, sorry. We'll also be inviting more than 12 guests to come down for the networking segment as well. So there will be a lot of PMs that are coming from different industries such as fintech. You also have e-commerce, even like logistics or even luxury brands as well. And I would say this fireside chat is pretty unique because it's not just about giving out generic career advice, but it's also about how different PMs actually do, because we're inviting conventional PMs, growth PMs, data PMs. So I think I'm pretty excited for the fireside chat itself personally as well. Yeah.
That sounds really great. So I also heard from Harry that if I sign up for this event, I'll land a free internship. Is that true?
No, that's not true. So for this event, we wanted to make sure that all our participants knew that actually all the product managers are coming under their personal capacity. So we didn't invite any like campus recruiters or like talent acquisition team to come down. All of the PMs are just coming down willing to give solid career advice. So try not to expect it to be like a career fair sort of thing, like can I get an internship, that kind of thing. Try to come with an open mind, expecting like genuine advice on like what's the career prospects, what does a PM in maybe your industry actually, how does it work and all that. Yeah.
Hope to see you guys there, okay?
Yes.
In our previous episode, we actually welcomed Jay, who is an SMU student who was there for the first ever iteration of PME. Right. Can you guys share about your experience with PME and whether there's any difference with what Jay actually experienced in the curriculum?
Wait, I go first?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think in terms of the curriculum, I would say that the learnings are pretty much the same. He mentioned that one of his biggest takeaways was actually on the interviews, and I think also the instructors, they were teaching them like more technical frameworks as well, or like things like how to actually do a PRD, for example. So actually all of these things, we actually took a look at the previous curriculum and we kind of tweaked it to the same as this current iteration of PME. So I would say the content that the instructors that are actually teaching is roughly the same. But I would say what makes our curriculum slightly different now, and I think slightly better, is the fact that we actually incorporate a lot of group interaction in between our lessons now. So a lot of them, I would say for the entire PME, all the PME participants, they are all grouped into groups of 4, and each week there will always be at least one group activity where they can either work in their groups or even work together with different groups. So I think this facilitates more cross-sharing and also learning from like different groups, like at least how their product idea is actually working so far. And I think more specifically, I would say what's more different this time around is the fact that instead of having one instructor each lesson, we are actually having one group of instructors who are teaching all the lessons. So all the instructors are the same throughout the lessons, and there's also like one lead instructor who's actually handling the entire curriculum together with us. So in this way, how it has helped us was that now the curriculum seems more seamless, in a sense where the lessons actually flow, and the participants can actually see how it culminates into their IPC. Yeah.
I see. But do you think like when there were like different instructors, like the way they approach the material would be like from like a different perspective? Maybe from like what they see in the industry? Because I recall like one of the sessions like recently, the speaker actually had a master's in like psychology. I thought that was like really interesting. Maybe like, do you feel like the way she teach the lesson is like a bit different?
I think there are definitely merits to having different instructors coming in to teach. I think especially the instructor that you mentioned, right? I'm not sure if you're referring to the product manager who was initially a UX researcher. But I think having to hear her perspective, especially about how do you like conduct discovery interviews and like evaluative interviews, it actually gives like quite, I would say, a breath of like fresh air. Like you can see how like instead of it's other than like what you learn from like those like PM frameworks, you also learn about really like how do you conduct interviews, how do you make your users like indirectly tell you like what they need without actually asking them like, oh, what do you want, so I thought for me personally, I've enjoyed her lesson like the most, and based on some feedback that I received from my participants, they also quite enjoyed the lesson that she had provided. So I think having a mix of instructors from different backgrounds also helped out a lot as well to make this whole PME experience like much better for the participants.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Maybe Vaish, you can share a bit about your experience.
I think for me, like, I very much see how everyone came in with the expectation that they will have like individual learnings, and they do very much have the instructors have a very strong focus on like making sure that each person walks away with like very concrete knowledge in terms of frameworks and stuff, which are very useful, I would say. But at the same time, I think the highlight for everyone has been, as what Yi Zhen mentioned, the group aspect as well, because I think a lot of people come in with a preconceived idea about what they're going to learn, but they walk away with a lot more from something that someone else said from across the room. So that was quite interesting, and I think we focus on that every time, like a bit more, as we go through the iterations.
I also heard that there's like a product competition kind of thing at the end, right? Have they been working on that product since like week 1?
I think for IPC, we definitely did tell all the participants, even when they were signing up to join the program, that this is something they can expect, and they also very much look forward to IPC because like they want to walk away with something that they can say they achieved, like a final product that they've worked really hard to do, so that they can maybe in the internship interviews or something talk about it, and they can go through the whole process that they went through, that they learned from PME, and then they can talk about it quite a bit, and it is a really good it's a good thing to have on their portfolio to demonstrate their competencies that they learn through PME. So I think we're quite proud of it also, and we very much look forward to IPC when it happens. She'll be very, very soon.
Alright, thank you. Hi, so Vaish, I actually heard that you are currently doing like a product role in your current internship. Right? Could you share more about your experience like in this internship and how going for PME or being SMU Product Club has helped you like do your role better?
Yeah, sure. I think for me, I kind of landed on this internship by accident, very much around the time where I interviewed to join the product club actually. So yeah, and I'm currently a AI product management intern at Confide, which is a platform that does whistleblowing solutions in the EU and UK. It's a very cool startup. And what I do is currently we're trying to develop a AI product that helps whistleblowing case managers with their day-to-day tasks. Yeah, I think that's all I can say at the moment. We launch on the 27th, so that's actually quite soon, a few days from now. Yeah.
Okay.
So how SMU Product Club has helped me is, actually they've helped me quite directly. The most easiest way the first thing that comes to my mind is I will literally implement what I've learned in some of the PME lessons the next day when I have to report to my boss. Or my boss will ask me to do certain tasks and I will actually look at the slides that they've put up for PME as a reference, like a very quick reference to actually develop whatever deliverable it is that I'm going to submit to my boss. And he will be quite impressed that I even know what a PRD is before he's had to explain to me. Or, how would you do a good interview? We did a questionnaire and interview kind of combo for certain stakeholders that we wanted to know more about. And then that went quite seamlessly because of, I think one of the first lessons that we had in PME for this iteration. So, yeah, to me, it's a great thing to see because it's giving me the confidence that PME works and that everyone is going to go into their future internships with actual useful frameworks. Like, it's one thing for all CCAs to kind of market their events as useful and fun and you can, learn all these things, but it doesn't always translate. And in university, we've seen that how many times? how many times? Numerous of times you walk into an event that promises to transform your life and it hardly ever does so. But PME is probably the closest thing to a useful, intense, experience I've seen. But it's totally worth it. You heard it from me first. I'm not. Or you can ask my boss maybe. He'll probably be a better judge of that. Yeah. So I'm very thankful.
Maybe just sidetracking a bit, right? Maybe, do you enjoy your product role and do you foresee yourself maybe doing a full-time kind of product role next time?
I think maybe my experiences are a bit limited because for one, it's very specialized into an AI product, and two, it's for a startup, which would be very different from, let's say, if you were a PM intern at, let's say, Shopee or a big company or a conglomerate or something like that. But I think from what I've experienced, also this is a remote internship because, like I mentioned, they were at a different continent right now.
Oh, then do you sleep
I think it's more like my bosses sleep at odd timings and they happen to... Another thing about PM roles, I don't know what about it is so special, but they attract such nice people. Like all PMs I've met are actually very nice, very willing to interact with students. My bosses especially, my boss is the chief product officer of the startup, right? He reached out to me, he asked what I wanted to learn, what I wanted to get out of the intern. He asked what are my best hours and stuff. He asked what were the gaps in my learning, what is something specific I wanted to learn about PM. And he made sure that he would give me tasks that weren't easy for me but would actually cover the gaps in my learning. Wow. So I really appreciate him because I was I don't want an easy internship where I just waste my time, don't learn anything. And he was yeah, don't worry, that will not happen. So yeah. Sorry, what was the initial question?
Yeah, I was just wondering whether you want to do it full time.
I think if it's something similar, then probably yeah. I mean, from what I see, all of the PMs, they actually enjoy the work they do and they get good hours. Okay, this is subject to some kind of you need to check if that's true. But from what I've heard, good hours. I'm not sure about the pay, but I'm not the kind of person that really cares about that. Because if you like what you do, then maybe I'm just too privileged to do that. No, but I think I would think why not? I think it's a good thing to explore. Yeah.
Alright, thank you so much for sharing. For both of you, what are your key takeaways from joining SMU Product Club, and what are your long-term aspirations for the club moving forward?
Okay, I think starting from me first, I would say that one of my, as I mentioned, right, I was previously the marketing director at SMU Product Club, and then I decided to actually run for president, and right now I'm actually the president, right, and I'm doing this for another one more semester, more than 1 more semester. Yeah, basically by the end of this year. So I think the reason why I even like wanted to continue on in the first place, because I wanted to make this club more known in SMU, I would say, especially towards students from other faculties outside of SCIS, because I felt that after being in the club for like 1 semester, actually 1 year actually, like I realized that product management is not just a field like within information systems. It's a multidisciplinary field that uses like knowledge from like business, it uses like design, and like that's why I felt that as a business student myself, I felt that there was a need for me to actually go on and continue the club's like carry on like the club's mission to like foster to foster like a future. What am I talking about? The mission, yeah, right. So like I felt the need to actually like carry on the club's mission to like raise awareness about this like growing field of product management towards the SMU community. Yeah, and that's why I would say one of my key takeaways from joining this club would be to actually hope to reach out to more students, make them let product management be known to like more students as well. And also for me, one of my personal key takeaways would be to also would be that I hope to learn from more different perspectives about what product management actually is as a career, because through these networking events and like curriculums, I'll be meeting a lot of different product managers from different industries and backgrounds. So I'm very excited to actually learn about what this whole like PM thing is like, and that's one of my biggest key takeaway from joining the club. Yeah.
Maybe on to you, Vash.
For me, I think from joining Product Club, I've learned like how exactly you ought to run a CCA that actually does meaningful events. I kind of struggled to find meaning in a lot of the things that I was doing for other CCAs, even though they are wonderful CCAs. It's more like they weren't really suited for me. But from joining Product Club and like seeing how everyone was so enthusiastic about working together, I felt like I actually could meaningfully kind of design, with everyone else, like events that students actually wanted. And I think that has been a very good experience for me. Yeah, like how exactly should you structure an event, what kind of preparation should you do, how should you reach out to people to figure out what they want to learn. Reaching out to PMs also has been very fun. Like everything has been a learning moment for me, so I think I'm very happy that I can improve my leadership style through Product Club. Yeah.
Aside from that, do you guys are you guys envisioning any new like initiatives or events for like the semester ahead maybe? Or nothing much in the works currently?
I think for me, like when I joined the very first meeting that we had in Product Club, I was constantly talking about the ideas I had because I was just so excited to like finally be in a place where everyone was so excited about the same thing. Yeah. So I kind of feed off that kind of energy. So I think we discuss all kinds of things like beyond just like the run-of-the-mill sharing sessions and stuff, maybe like a case competition or just I think the principle of the kind of event that I want to run is that it must have a deliverable at the end that you can carry on for the rest of your student life, and you can talk about it every time a professional networking opportunity comes up. That's exactly how I've gotten all the internships that I've gotten. Take note. Or like just in general, when you're having a conversation with someone that you're trying to impress, right? It's the easiest way to do it, and it's also the easiest way to reduce your stress as a student, because then you feel like you're doing something with your life. It's true, because sometimes you feel like you're not learning anything because you can't hold on to something concrete. So my aspiration is just really to create more events where you can walk away feeling a bit more relieved about your future.
Yeah, and I agree with Vash on this lah. Like I feel like we've also had some of our learning points from our previous event. That's when we realized that actually more students wanted more like technical content in the events that they joined. So that was one of the key learning points that we took away from our last event. And I think also just to bring back what Vash said about our first meeting, I was quite glad to actually, you know, like bring in Vash into our team, because like during the first meeting she was really sharing like, oh, how about you do like an idea-thon kind of thing, and like, oh, we can like bring in like different like you know, PMs, then we can come up with like problem statement. Then from there I was feeling quite relieved, like, oh my god, yes, like finally there's someone that, you know, like truly understands like what we do, and is also quite ambitious to like go about doing it as well. So yes, thank you so much, Vash. Very excited to work with you, especially for the case comm lah.
Yeah, we're all very hyped to actually make that a reality.
Yeah, and I would say that for this year we are trying a lot of different things as well, which is why, like, you know, we are doing the case comm, and then we are also right now we do have some events planned out for the next semester, but we are still trying to do like some rough interest check within like SMU community on what they really want. So yeah, I'm really just looking forward to like the next semester.
Yeah, that sounds really amazing. Hopefully, you know, Harry, that was how Harry felt when he had me on board too. Yeah.
He's nodding furiously behind the camera.
He's like yeah, so I'm so glad that, you know, NUS and SMU has such like a strong partnership. Are you guys thinking of like collaborating with any other universities or any other clubs out there?
Right, so we are actually collaborating with not just NUS Product Club, but also a very new club, NTU Product Club actually. Yeah, so I think they just started this year, and we're actually collaborating with them along with NUS for our product networking night. Yeah. So they're also a small team just like us, and given that they are quite new, we're very excited to, you know, work with them and see how things go. You know, like maybe if the event was like everything went smoothly, and we wouldn't mind, you know, giving it a second chance and like collaborate with them again. Hopefully, you know, to increase like the popularity of like product management within like, you know, the unis as well.
And I think like beyond that also, like in SMU, like we do have a very healthy ecosystem of clubs as well, just like NUS, I'm sure. And in like I mentioned, I'm from the AI club in SMU as well. So, you know, within PM, like as seen from my own internship, there is like a lot of opportunity to do something that's you know, crossing the disciplines, right? So maybe in terms of fintech and PM, AI and PM, or maybe even cybersecurity and PM, I think we see a lot of opportunities to collaborate. So we'll be thinking about that definitely in the upcoming semester as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like something I noticed with like PM roles is that, you know, usually they use like UI UX stuff. You know, it's always good to know a bit of Figma, or like, you know, data analyses.
Yeah.
Right? I think all these things will help. I think like NUS right now with, you know, Harry's fervent drive, you know, to promote the PM mission. He has been creating a lot of events with like, you know, the Stats and Data Society.
I saw the Tableau.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I think that was cool. And we actually got like a few of our like PMs who we worked with before to do like a resume screening workshop too. Right, I think that was like pretty amazing too. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this episode. Is there anything else you guys want to like share to our viewers?
Don't be afraid to reach out to any PM. They are so willing to teach you more stuff.
Yeah, Vaishnavi says that PMs are the nicest people.
Yeah,
so,
you heard it from me. And yeah,
I think it's also because like, you know, product management is such a new field, right? So I think for every PM that I've met so far, I think some of them, like they've even mentioned during fireside chats, like, oh, you know, like when I was back in my uni days, I didn't even have a platform for me to like learn about product management. It's like such a new thing. I only got to know about it when I started working. So I think maybe the reason why they're, you know, so nice to like students could be because, you know, maybe they're just thinking back to like in the position of them as a student, like they would have wanted this opportunity to speak to actual PMs as well. So yeah, I would say I agree with Vash, you know, like PMs are actually really nice people. And I'm also quite excited to see our SMU students as well as NUS and NTU students to join our product networking night as well. You know, be it whether you don't even know about PM or like you're super interested in PM, just come for the event with an open mind. You know, try to ask like, you know, what this field actually is, or like, you know, if you're actually interested, maybe ask them how do you actually like land a good like PM internship. Just the PMs are very open to answer. I'm pretty sure they will be open to answering these questions. So yeah, hope to see everyone there.
Yeah, we welcome everybody, like everybody, okay?
Yes, the event is on 22nd March at SMU Connection. Yeah.
Alright, thank you guys so much for joining me on this episode. Please remember to like, share and subscribe.